flame did not deserve that.
All that smoke. Why you get this flame smoke like that? Okay.
All right. I think that this one could be a kind of a fun conversation to have.
You sure?
I don't know.
All right.
But I got sent this clip 2 times.
Okay.
About this movie that's coming out.
Okay.
Do you remember February 7th? It's called Be Happy.
Mm-hmm.
And my girl Tisha Campbell is in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is about a couple that are about to be empty nesters and them not being able to, or them struggling with these kids being gone out of their home. And so then she meets someone and she begins, I guess, a journey.
So, wait. So she meets somebody while she's married?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's problematic.
Oh, yeah, very.
But her and her husband is struggling. Some other guy schmoozes his way in there. She meets him, and they begin a journey.
Yeah, yeah.
So we hadn't seen it. We just saw that clip. And in part of the clip, she's talking to a group of her friends, and she talks about, we were taught that we just stick through it, and happiness is not a requirement. Or something like that. That's what I'm, okay. You're going to post it. You're going to post the clip.
For sure.
Okay.
So everybody know what we're talking about. All right.
And both times they asked me, like, what did you think? Or you guys have to talk about it.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
All right. But first, I just want to say that together, I think we're both having to go through mourning our kids being out the house. We're almost empty nesters. Not quite. We're almost there.
2 down, 1 to go.
2 down, 1 to go.
Yeah.
And there's been a shift in our family dynamic because there used to be this massive hustle and bustle with the 5 of us, and now it's just the 3 of us. And sometimes that's kind of sad.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And we've had to learn how to, because even Judah gets, poor Judah, even he's mourning.
Yeah, I'd be like, man, what's wrong with you? He's like, yeah, man, my brother and sister gone. Like, it's like, oh, well, you're right. I can see that. I see why you sad, little man.
Yeah. And so we've had to adjust as a family, and we've had to adjust as a couple. And what does it mean to be empty nesters? Because we're not full empty nesters. We're partly going into the phase of empty nesting.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we had to learn way early on, and I feel like it's something that we communicated way early, is one day these kids are going to leave, and we have to still love each other, and we have to still journey together.
Yeah. It was, I can't remember exactly what I was looking at, but it was some psychologist or something that said when you start to isolate, like past age 40, and you start to isolate yourself, you're preparing to be alone, like specifically to married folks, right? So it's like you almost feel like this is about to be over. Not necessarily the marriage, but you are getting on the other side of the mountain, so to speak, right? We're getting a little bit older. Yeah. This isn't going to last forever. I actually understand it. And you start to become... You try your best to become self-sufficient, so that I won't be as broken and or as sad as I'm probably going to be if I lose my significant other. Right.
That makes me feel sad.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Don't start crying.
I might,
Cut it out.
Bruh, that's really sad.
Relax. It is.
Yeah. I think that as we age, you know, it's like the worst. It's like the best and the worst part of love is living and then not. So let me say it right. It's like the worst part of living is knowing that that's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
So then the worst part of a love story is knowing that it will come to an end.
For sure. But one of the points would be, if we're talking about empty nesters, like, well, that's only because we developed a certain type of love for each other, right? But it's like if I'm an empty nest and I'm like, ooh, count your days, Jen. Count your days. Yeah. Like, you know, and you already seeing some dude in New Orleans or wherever Tisha Campbell was with this new guy. It's like, then there's a difference there. But to me, empty nester, it almost proves a point of like all that hubbub and all that hubby this and all that wifey this. It's like, now we get ready to see what it really is. And it's not funny. We just are comedic people. But it's like, I think that it proves whether or not you preferred your mate.
Yeah. And to be clear, we are talking about being empty nesters. I'm just kind of sappy. And so the idea
I know. You go all
I didn't win out. Okay, I didn't win out. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me pull it back to being empty nesters. Right. Just the idea of like, dang, this anyway, we're getting older. That's the thought in my head, and it's just a struggle.
Yeah.
But being an empty nester is like, I really do miss the kids. Like we talked to them today. Everybody snowed in. I'm like, dang, I wish y'all was here. They out there, trekking in the snow, sledding, having a blast, and that's fun to watch them grow and love each other, and to watch them grow. To watch them grow as we love each other.
Yeah.
Because there's no shift in our love or our dynamic because they are gone.
And you're not needing them to come back.
Correct.
To fill that void.
To fill any gaps between us.
Correct, because there was never that void or gap there. It was a correct parental love.
Correct.
Like that. Sam London sent us a video of her and her friend sledding, and she like,
yeah,
it's like, that's really dope.
Yes.
And it felt good too to see like, wow, baby girl is having, and she's like, she may be older than baby girl now, but to see her having that type of fun was really amazing.
Yeah.
And I think when we dropped Tay off at college, our first kid, it flooded me with, have I prepared him?
Yeah.
Did I tell him the right ways to fight? Did I tell him how to stand up for himself? Did I tell him how to treat others and how to treat women? Did I tell him how to value his? It's like suddenly I got flooded with all these questions of like, oh snap, I didn't know this guy was really going to go out into the world.
Right.
I thought the big five was forever. So that's one of the things about empty nest, and I don't think that people warn you about. It's like, hey, when your first one leave, you're gonna have all the feels, all the emotions in terms of like, did I do right? And it's almost like a death has happened, except they're still alive, because it's abrupt. I don't care how you plan for it.
Yeah.
I don't care how you walk your way up to it. When it happens, it's boom, they are gone.
But one thing that we never had to concern ourselves with is, do I still like Tim?
Yeah.
Do I still want to be with him?
Yeah.
And the reason why is, I want to be clear, the reason why is because we did make a decision kind of early in. Now, we've talked about this a lot. It took us 10 years to have a good marriage.
For sure.
All right. But one of the things that we did within those 10 years is learn how to get to know each other, learn how to communicate through our growth periods, through our moments of discomfort, learn how to grow even in our discomfort, learn how to prefer each other, even with the evolving family, learn how to put each other's needs first, even as life is happening, so that when it came time for our first son and now our daughter to leave, we weren't looking back like, who are you? Yeah. Where'd you come from?
Right.
And why are you here?
Right.
Because we did things that were like, okay, let's date. Let's spend time together, and let's get to know each other.
That date night, I feel like, and maybe it's just me, I don't know, you can tell me how you feel, but I feel like when we tell people about our date night experience, I don't feel like there's a lot of love for it, or maybe, I don't know. Is it like, man, y'all must have a lot of money? First of all, we don't. Or maybe it feels like we're doing too much, or, we are at that point of our marriage where we're both trying to put forth the effort to make this thing happen. Because I can say that I want to say you came up with the idea. And when you first came up with the idea, I was like, oh my gosh. Because every week I had to shift my attention from business, from church, from all these different things, the kids, everything, and point my attention towards you. Now, it was for 2 hours, but at first it was like, oh my gosh, I got this going. And it's like, this is kind of low key proving the point. You need to pay attention to her. And so it took maybe 3 months or so of dates. But after that, it was like, okay, I settled into it. Like, okay, this is needed and necessary.
And it's necessary. And it's like, this is how we've safeguarded our relationship.
Right.
Because if you don't do things that are like, I want to be married.
Right.
I want to know Tim. I want to love Tim.
Yeah.
But also, I want to be happy. I want to be loved well.
You were doing good, because for a minute there, you made me like glad that the candle was lit. I was going to play a little bit of music. But then you was like, I was like, she took me out the mood.
Hey.
No, but you want to be happy.
Yes.
And you're talking about how you live, or your quality of life.
Yeah. And I wanted our quality of life to be something that was just enjoyable.
Yeah.
We're watching our kids get older, because I think when I instituted it, maybe I instituted it right when we moved to New York. I can't really remember. I don't know if it was before that.
But it was not in Winston-Salem.
Right.
It was after we had been in Rochester for a little bit.
And I realized like our life is shifting quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not careful, we will lose sight of each other.
Yeah.
And that's just something that intrinsically, I know like that's so important as I work with mental illness. You know, I'm in the mental illness field. We work with couples. I just realized how important it is for couples to fight for their relationship if they want anything that's worth having is worth fighting for. And the fight, I'm not talking about go to war. I'm talking about doing the things that create longevity in this relationship.
Yeah, and when you talk about dating, it's like it turned into something to look forward to.
Yep.
It's like I had a long week.
Yep.
You know, this person has got on my nerves. That person got on my nerves. This person was amazing and wonderful. Maybe I got on my own nerves, or maybe I got on somebody else's nerves. But it's like a lot of things were happening. But then I would look forward to that Friday night or the Saturday night. Like I get to dump and unload all of my emotions and feelings, and you know, babe can do the same. And so I just got excited about. I started getting excited about where we were going, like what kind of date was it gonna be?
What we're gonna do?
What we're gonna do? We're going to what's our joint?
Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse with
with
the rolls and the
what
the cheapest steak in town.
The cheapest, or is that Clackett?
I don't know. The cheapest steak in town, but it's like it's an exciting thing that I truly believe it causes your cortisol levels to go down.
And I think that every couple is different, right? So me and you are kind of boring. Like I think that in general we're a little.
I agree.
But it's like we enjoy the letdown of like, let somebody serve us. Let's go eat at a restaurant. Let's chill. Let's talk for hours.
Yeah.
And let's have fun that's our fun.
Yeah.
I think I just introduced a couple of things that like we want to go sit on this jury panel or, you know, whatever that is. We want to do a couple different things, but like, you're not going to find Tim and Jenn at the bowling night. Not really.
Yeah.
You're going to find us mostly at a restaurant, mostly at a bookstore.
Yeah.
Doing whatever. So I do think it's important for couples to understand what works for them.
Yeah. Somebody else may be skydiving.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
if your thing is not, you know, Texas Roadhouse, don't go.
Right.
But do something.
Do whatever it is.
That becomes your thing with your mate. That becomes a way that you guys prefer each other, a way that you guys spend time together, and carve that out. When you have young kids, it's different. Because you got these babies, you're trying to raise them, and you might not be able to afford, and that's what I mean by different. You might not be able to afford a restaurant every week.
Yeah.
You might not be able to afford
we
certain
can't afford
things.
a restaurant every week.
Right.
Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it's like figuring out one day what you can promise each other is those kids are going to leave.
Yeah, for sure. And so that date night is super duper
essential.
important.
And
it's like, I don't understand why that's so hard. I'm not talking about, well, you got so many things going on, you got this. It's like, yeah, whatever. I'm hard pressed to find things in this world that's more important than Tim and Jenn.
Right.
Like, I'm hard pressed. Like, whether it's church, whether it's business, whether it's whatever. And I know there's those rare moments where in a given year, you may have 5 weekends or whatever, maybe a little bit more, that you know good and well a date is just not happening this week. But what we do is we double up, or we're like, well, Monday, first thing smoking, we're about to go sit down a date, because this is the nucleus of the world that I experience.
This is the nucleus of the world, and not letting anything come in between that. And everything tries to come in between that.
Everything.
When even your kids, they don't even know it, but they try to come in between that. And one of the things that you have to be mindful to do is say, hey, we have a life outside of, for our three, we have a life outside of three, y'all. It was Dad and I first.
Yeah.
Now, it was Dad and I first. I have some different thoughts about that when you bring in stepkids and different things like that. And we don't have to talk about that today. Sure. But I do have a couple different thoughts about how you have to integrate, how you have to blend a family for real, and a healthy way to do that. So, but this is our nuclear family. We created it. It was Tim and Jenn. Before it was Tim, Jenn, Tay, London, and Judah. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we had to learn is, Tim and Jenn, how do y'all maintain your unity, your togetherness, and your love, even in the midst of Tay, London, and Judah. And then it became different because we senior pastored, we youth pastored. Now, Lord, we did an executive pastor, associate pastor, and it's like, how do you maintain your togetherness when all these other factors come into play?
Because I feel like things, I won't say necessarily people, but situations, circumstances, however you want to say it, they literally try to hype you up to forget about what the most important thing is. Now, keep in mind, none of these people are going to be here for you when you experience extreme failure, when you experience really even extreme highs. It's like, we're going to celebrate with you. We're going to give money. We're going to do all kinds of things. But like when the event is over, like you got to go home.
Yes.
When I'm in the hospital on my sick bed, I fully expect Jenn to come in there and, help a brother use the bathroom. But I don't know anybody else that's going to do that. I mean, my mom and dad are still rocking out, but it's like they've already wiped my behind once. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know that Jenn is going to be there for me. And so like, this is what we minister out of.
Yes.
This is what we have our joy out of. Yes. This is what, it's like all of it is right between the two of you, that we, the two of us, so that we could create this type of, I don't know, picture of what God and his church looks like.
Come on now. And on top of, like, one thing that Tisha Campbell said, that's a clip. Now we're only talking about the clip. We're going to have to watch the movie.
I'm going to already fight her husband. I mean,
okay.
The
dude. Yeah. We're going to talk about the clip. Is this happiness piece. And as if, number one, happiness is not an emotion that's going to shift.
Sure.
And number two, like, as if because they're struggling and her being unhappy, what she had created with that man that she had those kids with is not worth fighting for, because right now she feels unhappy.
Yeah.
Right. Like happiness, no one's saying,
I got you.
Yes. Happiness is not fleeting, but happiness is not an emotion that in a longevity relationship that you're always going to feel.
Yeah.
I don't always feel happy at work, but I haven't quit my job.
Need that check.
I need it.
Yeah,
I need it.
Need that check.
I don't always feel happy in every other relationship that I have, but if it's worth having, it's worth working through.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, how would you speak to someone that's like, I'm just unhappy?
Yeah. I mean, first, because a lot of times it's usually a you problem. Like when and now remember, we know this at this point. If you don't acknowledge how somebody's being hurt, a lot of times they're not trying to hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, until you acknowledge that I'm not the wrong one here, I'm not trying to understand what you're talking. It's like, let's acknowledge that there's been some things that's been done wrong to you. I'll give you that. I will give you that. There may be some flaws that this other person has that are deeply or in a light way affects you, right? But we still have to start with you in order to get true happiness.
Yeah.
Because your happiness is not going to be based off of Jenn. The happiness that you and I create is because we go in our corners, we work on ourselves, and then we produce and bring back to each other. And like, look at all these grapes I found.
Yeah.
And then you come to the table and you're like, oh, you found grapes, but I found carrots. We might be able to, if we keep going in our corners and working on us, we might be able to produce something here. And so to me, that is a way of finding happiness, is saying, let me go to a therapist, let me go to prayer, to a pastor, church, whatever, and let me figure out what's going on in me. Let me start figuring out what's going on in my heart and my mind. Because what if Jenn has been wanting to be a physician since she was 3, but now that you're married to me, for whatever reason that trips it up, whether that's school, whatever, it's like you could almost pin your dreams on, like, it's you that doesn't I can't reach my dreams because of you. Who's gonna dig that out?
And let's be clear also, being unhappy is not a marriage deal breaker.
Yeah, for sure. That it's not. So you might as well work on it.
Yeah.
So I can't leave just because I'm unhappy?
Just because I'm unhappy.
Well, then let me work on this. And it's like, let me find out about me. And then finding out about me, I ultimately discover about you. Because guess what? You're a human too.
Yeah.
So if I figure something out about myself, I've now figured out something about the human race.
Correct.
Not male, female, but not being gender specific.
Yeah.
But I can figure out what makes a human happy and then try to do that for you too. That's literally what has happened.
And also, my happiness is truly my responsibility.
Yes.
So at the moment that Tim makes me so unhappy, I have to realize, like, what is it about him that makes me so unhappy? So then what is it about me?
Yes.
That has allowed him to impact me so much that I no longer have happiness.
Yes.
And there have been times in our marriage when I have been severely unhappy.
Sure.
There have been times in our marriage when you have been severely unhappy.
Right.
And then what do we have to do? We had to go to our separate corners and figure out our life.
It wasn't going to be based off of what we did, you know what I mean, in front of each other. Like, half of the time when your mate makes you unhappy, it's almost a shoulder shrug because it's almost an argument. Like, whatever, like, that's on you, blah, 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 blah. You know, we going back and forth. But to your point, I think that finding out what gives you joy, what makes you happy, whatever, it's super duper important, because when Christ looks at the church and we start as a church being like, I don't like God, and I don't like talking to him, and I'm actually mad at him, he is not planning on changing. He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. How that translates to us as humans, because we're not God, but how that translates is it shows you that when a person is mad at God, they should go in prayer and like talk to him and everything, but evaluate themselves and see what's going on, and they can come to conclusions. And God's like, there you go, because it's not me. But it shows us a mode of behavior that if you're so mad at your spouse, they're not God, but it does give you a mode of behavior to go into the corner and to pray and to read books and see if there's anything in you that might be wrong. But devil's advocate, go ahead.
I was going to say, once again, unhappiness in marriage is not a deal breaker.
Yeah.
But it is a point of communication.
Yeah.
It is a point to say, let's come together and let's just be honest. Maybe we need to have a courageous, hard conversation, which
I believe in those.
We have had them too. Mm-hmm. I have looked you dead in your face and been like, hey man, this is not working for me.
It's the only way we grow.
It's the only way we ever grew. You have looked at me and been like, yeah, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay. How do we figure this out? What we did in our moments of unhappiness and our moments of like sadness is that we still figured out a way to like fight through it and come together and be like, hey, we got to learn how to communicate this thing out. And I think I just wish more people, more couples would communicate.
Sure.
Would at least fight for what you vowed to protect.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can slip away because life will just happen so fast. You got to work, you got to eat, you got to take care of the kids. Yeah. You got to do all these things that it's like, no matter, Tim will be fine. I'll catch up with him in 10 years. And it's like, in the midst of that, so many things have happened. So many things have changed. So many perceptions, so many perspectives, so many internal things happened that you have lost who he is in essence, or you have lost who I am in essence.
And now you are in some other state.
Correct.
Dating some other dude that's doing it for you.
Because the grass is always greener on the other side. The grass always looks greener, rather. Yeah. Not always is greener. It just always looks greener.
Yeah, for sure.
And what people do, man, I don't know. This is my perception, okay? I'm not saying that. I really do believe that people scour the internet for married people that they can make unhappily married.
Like they look to destroy marriages.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I almost believe it. That I feel like women are so much more attracted to married men in a way than they are. That doesn't take away the responsibility of the man to say, hey, I'm married.
Leave me alone.
But how many times have I come home and I've been like, this man talking about, are you married? And I'm like, yes. And they like, happily? As if.
No, but that's a good point. Are you married? Like, yes. Happily? Like, whether I was unhappily married, but that kind of makes the point in the movie, you know, preferring, like, I had to work so hard to understand what you were talking about when you said you don't prefer me. And you would literally just go to sleep like, and thank God you had patience, because you're like, you just don't get it. And then at this point, you're trailing off. You're not even talking to me anymore. He's just like, you're not yelling, nothing. He's just like, let me just lay down, because he just doesn't get it. And when I finally got it, it was like, oh, it's Jenn over everything.
Yeah.
It's Jenn first.
Yeah.
And I was talking to somebody the other day that was single, and I was trying to get him to understand what he was going to be up against when he got married. It's like, oh no, I can work through anything. I don't care what problem it is. That's what I want. And it's like, that's what he's looking for. but he's looking for this lady that will fit that mold of, I'm only going to introduce to you problems and issues that can be worked through.
Yeah.
And it's like, bruh, if you think for 1 minute that your spouse is going to only introduce issues that can actually be worked through, you crazy. It's stuff in our marriage right now that we still haven't worked through, and we 24 in.
Yeah.
It was stuff in our at the 5-year mark, and we finally got through it. Like, whew, 10-year mark, finally got, oh my gosh, 13, 15, 20, because we can't control each other.
Yeah.
But if I prefer you, that is a constant working on whatever that thing is, even when there's an area that you are like, I'm not changing. You may not explicitly say that, it's maybe subconscious, but you have no intentions of changing in the area. And so like, what are you gonna do? And then at one point in the conversation, he got like a little puzzle, like, and it hit him, because it's like, marriage is not about, we can work. We laughed at people. Me and you laughed at marriages. Like, look at them arguing. We ain't gonna never argue.
No.
It's like, okay.
It was our mantra when we were engaged of what we were never going to be. We were laughing at these couples that we saw struggling through life. Oh my God.
They need help.
They need so much help.
They need help.
We dying laughing.
Yeah.
And then we get into it as a 21 and 20-year-old. And then suddenly we're like, wait a minute, that's not funny. We struggling.
And you hurt my feelings.
Why did we laugh at them? And we just had to learn, like, oh, this is way harder than we thought it would be. It's way harder than than we imagined it would be. So I just said the same thing twice, but it's just hard. This mess is hard. I thought that this was, I mean, not that I necessarily thought it was Disney Princess-y, but I really did think like love conquers all.
Yeah.
Like, which means that encompasses just everything. No matter what, if I love you enough, and it's like, yeah, that just wasn't true. Now, I do think having a love for each other truly did just foundationally keep us locked in.
Conquers all,
but there were some serious issues that we really had to work through.
Yeah.
And we had to work through so that we could get to 24.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to work through so that we could look at these two kids that left our house and be like, you know what? Mm-hmm. Love y'all. It's going to be real, but me and Dad's still good over here.
We got plans. Like,
we got plans.
We get to travel more.
Correct.
Like, Sadie need to watch her back.
Correct.
Sadie Jane, like, because all the three kids is gone. And you think you're about to be a dog that's blocking. You feel me? Like, getting in the way of everything. You got to be crazy. Like, all right, get ready to go to your grandparents' house all the time, because
Sadie.
I'm not keeping no dog for those 15 years. It's keeping me what I've been waiting for, which is to spend time with you.
Yeah.
But it's only because we fight for time now that creates more love, more intimacy, more togetherness, so that when those kids leave, it's actually like sad, but at the same time, there's a joy in it too.
Yeah, there's a sadness that came from just the family dynamic shifting, but then there was joy to know that even though the family dynamic shifted, our love did not shift.
Yeah.
And how do you fight for that when you're in young? It's like recognition.
Yeah.
These kids are going to leave us.
Yeah.
They're going to grow up. We have to know each other. And so then even when you have a young family and y'all are trying to, fight through just to sleep, really, you're just trying to sleep good at night because the babies are waking up. Now, then in through the adolescent years, you got to go to parent teacher conferences.
You got to lock in.
You got to, do homework. You got to cook and make sure the kids' clothes. You got to do all these things. And potentially you had to work. Potentially you got to do whatever.
Preteen, they're a little slow.
Yeah.
They lack a lot of brain cells.
Now you got to talk these kids through dating, love, relationship.
Relationships.
You have to raise your kids.
Yeah.
But in the middle of raising your kids, you cannot lose sight of each other.
Yeah.
And also added to that, you cannot lose sight of yourself.
Yeah.
Which is why,
that's really good.
I have talked about it, but it's why I do have those slow down mornings. I know that was on our first video, but it's why I have a certain routine. Before we even came up here, what was I doing? Doing my bike exercise, right? Right. I did my workout. I had made dinner yesterday in the crock pot. There were things that are like, this is important to me to keep my own sanity, to take care of myself. And it's like, as a couple, individually, you guys, you have to be able to do things that take care of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we even were talking about, like, who are your friends? I charge couples to have friends outside of their spouse.
Please I know I'm killing with the statistics and stuff tonight, or the things that I've read, but there's literally a statistic that says that men who have a best friend that they can talk to, chum it up, go to the football game, they live longer than men who don't. Not because they are more healthy or whatever in terms of like working out and all that stuff, but the man that's married and his life centers around the kids and around what his wife needs and all this other stuff, those dudes die sooner than the guys who have a best friend, a guy friend that they can go out with, go talk to or whatever. And it's like, it's scientifically proven. So you have to have that space where, you know, when we're young, we're thinking, I need you to be around me all the time. Where are you going? Can I go with you? And it's like, at some point, you got to give each other a break. You got to say, hey, I want to go hang out with my two friends, which I know who your two friends are. You know who my friends are, right? And it's like, I'm going out to do blah, 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 blah. Or I'm on the phone with da, 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 da. And it's like, I might be talking for an hour, talking about theology, talking about whatever. And you don't say, I can't believe I told him I needed something. He just stayed on the phone for another hour talking about theology. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't have an attitude. You're like, oh, okay, bet. I'm like, I'm on the phone with such and such. You're like, okay, got it. You walk away and I never hear from you again until I get off the phone and go find you.
Because what did we learn that was important? Is we learned how to prefer each other, how to take care of each other, and how to support our individual needs. It's like, you know, I need my girl time. So what? I'm leaving. Me and the crew, we going out to dinner or whatever it is that we do. Same for you. You know, and like just really creating that space. That says, not only do I love Tim, but I love all of Tim. So that means, what does he need? He needs friendships. Go, please. Didn't you just go?
Got you.
You know, didn't you just go to breakfast last week with someone? Then I'm like, go. See you. You know, and it's like those things matter. And so even as you're getting older, you're becoming empty nesters, you're trying to grow your family, you're trying to grow your marriage, and it's also important to let your spouse grow.
It's so, what's the thing? It's like, you remember when I was telling you about what scientists were saying? They said that when you can only remember like a certain set of memories, it's because your brain has stopped recording because it expects the same things to be happening. So you go into a loop versus like getting new memories or experience. And so it's like, I grab my food, I sit down, I say hey to Jenn, we talk, we laugh, we go to bed. It's like day after day. And so they actually encourage you to do new things to rewire your brain and to snap that pattern of behavior so that you can start to grow and remember new things. What's something that you've never done before? What was the thing you just challenged me to do? You was like, kid, I mean, literally, we in Cozumel or wherever, the Cayman Islands, you like, your dad want jet ski with me. And I'm like, oh man, okay, I gotta do it. Let me get everything right. So now we jet skiing, you know, and we've never jet skied before, right? Have. You know I'm overprotective of you. So I'm gonna do like, hey man, something wrong with her knee. Make sure you get her. Like, relax, man. Like, nah, you need to know something wrong with my boo knee. Like, if you mess her knee up, it's gonna be. I'll fight you in this quarter, my boy. But that triggered a whole new, like, oh, whoa, okay, all right. Gave me a new memory. So it's important to do these things because scientifically, time is against you as well. It's not just about the kids leaving. It's about your brain is leaving too.
Well, that's true too. Oh man, you're getting old.
You're getting older.
That's just a fact.
But it's so lame that Tisha Campbell went for this other dude, but it's probably just as lame that her husband didn't prefer her or say, okay, let me shake myself. Let me try to, you know, do something to spice it up a bit or whatever.
Oh, that I think I trailed off. But the grass always looks greener on the other side. And there are people, and I did say it, there are people that's just waiting. Like, Pastor Tim, you single?
Yeah.
I got a little bit of time. Well, or you look unhappy.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of time for you. And it's the same.
Good, because I'm going to need therapy for the rest of my life if I leave Jenn.
And I'm sure it's the same for me. You know, like I'm sure it's the same. Like, oh, Oh, she's single now?
Oh, you fine.
I got a little bit of time, you know?
Fine.
And so then, of course, somebody wants to come in that doesn't really know me and wine and dine me. Like, of course, that's fun.
For 2 weeks.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
And so then it's like, of course, somebody's going to see the best of me, ultimately. They're going to see everything this is fun. You don't know me. You don't know my quirks. You don't know anything about me. And right now, I can get flued out.
Yeah. Don't get flued out, babe. Don't get flued out.
You want to take me on the best dates of my life, per se, because you're presenting something that, it's this short amount of time, and it's this like really, I don't even, yeah. It's this intense kind of lust filled, like I'm gonna give you the best of the best of the best of the best. I think it's love bombing. That's what it is. I want to call it love bombing, but it's like, okay, yeah, of course you're gonna love bomb me, and now I'm looking at saying like, you ain't never did this for me,
right?
And it's like, but then when you recount all the things I have done for you over the years, or all the things that we built. Is these little trips and this little dance party and this little situation worth everything that we built?
The track record speaks for itself. If you look at our track record, we trend.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe there's small little dips. If you look really, really close, there's a dip. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
But to the point of this conversation, we're actually just trying to encourage people to continue that trend.
Yeah.
If you see a dip and you're like, we are dipping, you made me kiss you today for Rice Krispie treats. I said, fix me a Rice Krispie treat, babe. You talking if you passionately kiss me or something, I'm like, for real, bro? I mean, let me shut down my computer and put what on you. You feel me? But those things and moments are important. Like,
and it's just learning how to have fun with your spouse.
Yeah.
And I think you need to learn that while you have a young family, so that when you have an older family and when your kids finally leave, that you guys are not looking around like, who the heezy is this?
Yeah.
I don't even know you.
We specifically told our kids, hey, I'm not being rude, I'm not being mean. I love you a lot. Matter of fact, you're next. But first is mom.
Yeah.
Mom comes before you.
Yeah.
And at first you could be like, Dad, so you just straight up. It's like, yes, because it helped them process the relational hierarchy of our family. Oh snap, I ain't gonna never beat mom. It's like, no,
never.
London ain't gonna beat mom, Tay's not gonna beat mom, and Judah's not gonna beat mom. Mom is in a league all by herself.
Correct.
Now after we get past mom, now we can talk about your needs and how much dad loves you, because I love you way more than anybody else. So now you're next up in line. And it's like, oh, so now they don't have to worry about the mom-in-law or the dad-in-law getting mixed into their relationship.
Correct.
We've already taught them
Correct.
that the first person is your spouse.
Is your spouse, yeah.
This is how an empty nest, becoming an empty nester, you actually survive and thrive. At least we're 2 down, 1 to go.
Yeah.
We will come back to this.
Yeah.
And we'll also come back probably for a part 2, because we want to know after we watch that movie and see what kind of nonsense goes. And we'll talk through that though.
And because we have those clips sent to us, if you guys have any questions, right? If people have any questions once they watch this, if you have any questions about other subjects, hit us up. We want to talk about it.
We'll chat about it.
Yeah, we'll chat
about it. Yeah, good talk, Pimp.
All right.
I'll catch you on part 2. We'll pray for people on part 2.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.